Hello record collectors. This past weekend, Sunday, the Oshawa Vinyl Show took place. This show is a little bit smaller than some of the other shows that take place around Ontario, but I found it a pretty good show because I'm familiar with most of the vendors. I've dealt with them for years, especially at the local flea market when it existed. And also a lot of the vendors focus on material from the 60s, which is what I tend to collect. So I find it a pretty good show.
Thank you everyone for coming. I think we got most stuff. Still more coming, more of the lineup coming in. We do already have one request. Anyone that has Thin Lizzy? I believe it was, right? Thin Lizzy?
That's a good.
I don't have this one.
That's a good.
I've got most of their stuff. Hey, they got like 30
That's
albums.
a hard one. I know. They
Section it all?
You've got enough cash for all.
And if anyone has, any of the vendors have a native band Thor on LP, just let me know again. We have a gentleman here in the red jacket. Like Thor.
Stevie Wright? No, sorry, I don't.
He's wrong. Sometimes.
Well, I didn't know half of these. They look like nice petals. You know what? I don't even have a record player. I take it you sell these, do you? No, I don't do anything. I just collect them.
Because I think we want them in.
I don't actually know.
But is she like Asian looking?
Oh yeah, she's Asian. Yeah.
That's
really
must
tall
be
one,
her
skinny
then.
one. Yeah.
Gorgeous, yeah, right?
Yeah.
That's the
It's funny in person. I thought.
Oh, on camera. Yeah. But look at you, eh?
Yeah,
I can't believe it. Oh, we're good. Yeah. Life is amazing.
Excellent.
Yeah. Hey, this is.
I picked up around 17 albums at the show. I'll show you pretty quickly. I'll go through what I got. So the first vendor I visited was a vendor who I've dealt with for many years, and I got a lot of records from my collection was from this individual. And this is the album I got from him. Earth Island, We Must Survive. Tends to be regarded sort of as a bit of a psych album. I only got one album from that vendor. Then the next vendor, again, I just got the one album from him. This is Tonto's Expanding Headband, Zero Time. This is a good album, very electronic, but not electronic like Kraftwerk or Tangerine Dream. It's more electronic, almost sort of in a psychedelic vein. Very good album, I like it. Let's see, it's a gatefold as well. This is on the embryo label. The next album I got from another vendor, different one still, Neon. Again, sort of a little bit psych, a little bit rock, even a little bit touches almost like country blues at point. So it's quite a bit, quite a variety of music on that one. Pretty good album. Then I moved to a vendor that I dealt with many times for probably the last 10 years. And I bought several things from him. He tends to focus now less psychedelic and more into general music. First one I picked up, Blondie's first album. I need one more to collect the Blondie Debbie Harry collection that I have. Then maybe I'll do a video on them. Picked up one by the Ventures I didn't have, Fire. This isn't bad. I think this is around 1967, I think, and by then I sort of stopped liking them. But this album is pretty good, and it's almost sort of touching a little bit on psychedelic, a little bit of fuzz guitar and stuff like that. Here's an oldie. This is the Competitors Deuce Coupe 409. I think this is the first time I've ever seen this one in the wild. Actually, I don't even see it online very often, this particular one. This is your surf and drag music, early 60s. Very good album. Dot label. Okay, I mentioned when I did the Mississauga show that I have never ever done a vinyl show where I've come home and not discovered that I already owned at least one of the albums that I bought. No exception with the Oshawa show, the Simple Minds one. I looked at it and said, geez, I haven't got that one. Come home, sure enough, I had it. I have no recollection of ever buying it or ever playing it, but it was already there. The next one is Dusty Springfield with the Pet Shop Boys. This is where she teamed up with them. I think this is in the earlier mid-80s. This is like an EP, UK pressing. I'm a big Dusty Springfield fan, so I wanted to get that. The next one, The Wailers, Long Cool One. This is early garage from the 60s. This record is in pretty much mint condition. The writing that occurs here is on the outer sleeve. It's not on the jacket. This particular vendor usually writes a little note on every outer sleeve just to let the customers know what it is. I just picked this one. This is the last one I got from that vendor. Quincy Jones Bossa Nova. It was like $5. The old Mercury pressing. I figured I'd pick this one up. The Soul Bossa Nova. People don't know, I've never heard that, but if you listen to it, you go, oh geez, I've heard that. I've heard that either in TV shows or being sampled by other artists. So after dealing with that vendor, I moved to the vendor next to him, and he had a few things I liked as well. The one I picked up here was the big drag boats USA, the Hornets. Again, sort of surf and drag music from the 60s. I was glad I was looking for that one for the last little while. I collect a lot of surf and drag stuff. This one here is the Marquettes. I think I spoke of the Marquettes in one of my previous videos where they're almost like a fictitious band. This is the Wrecking Crew, the LA session musicians. They were doing basically surf music in the 60s. I think this is one of their later albums, if not one of the last albums. I know this one is not very collectible. I saw it there. It was reasonably cheap, so I picked it up. I picked this one up. I'm an early Anne Margaret fan. I've got her first 4 albums, and I saw this one, so I thought, well, I haven't got it. I'll pick it up anyway. Mostly for Anne Margaret. I like her very early stuff. This isn't, well, I don't know, this won't be that early, but still, that was worth getting. There's or that Atco Atlantic Stax sort of get together during the 60s where there were a lot of bands being put out. This was one of them, The Last Words. On this particular one on the Atco label. And from another vendor, picked up one. I just picked this up. Isaac Hayes, still in the shrink wrap. This is on the Enterprise label, which was a subsidiary of Stax. We're not familiar with the music's on there, but I figured I'll pick it up. It was priced pretty cheap, so still in the shrink wrap. All these albums were in the vinyls in mint condition. Then there's this one here. This was the Isaac Hayes movement again. I picked it up fairly cheap. This one is actually, I believe, on the Stax label itself. Not the Enterprise. Again, I haven't heard it. The record was in fantastic shape, so it was cheap. So I thought I'd pick it up and give it a listen. Anything that's on the Stax label, I'll pick. Then as the vinyl show was sort of like, ran out of money and ran out of time, and I'm leaving, and just by the exit there was this one vendor who had a whole bunch of boxes, and everything was $5, and so I was going through it on my way out through the door right there, and he had a pretty good selection considering he was only charging $5, and but I had most everything there that I liked. So I finally said, well, geez, I should pick up something. So I picked this up. Yeah, I know I get some negative feedback on this. Olivia Newton-John, Let's Get Physical. I figured, why not? I've never listened to Olivia Newton-John. Let's Get Physical is the only song by her I would ever recognize. It was in mint condition. I don't know, she's riding a dolphin there. It looks like, yeah, I think she's riding a dolphin here, and she's riding a dolphin here. So, and the in shape. You can see she's getting very physical here. And this apparently there were some posters or something in here too. And like I said, don't know anything about her really, but so went in, and there's this one looking very outdoorsy. She's ready to trek through the jungle. Let me see here. And, what's this one? Oh, this is Let's Get Physical is turning platinum or something like that. I have a feeling whoever owned this album must have been a really big Olivia Newton-John fan, because I don't know, he seemed to be collecting posters or something of her. And this one was in there. This is definitely something I think tore out from somewhere, not part of the physical, but that was in there too. So that's pretty much what I got at the Oshawa show. Just very quickly, a couple funny things that happened there. I was at the one booth. I know the vendor. I've known him for many years. And while I was speaking to him, there was on the PA announcement that a car may have been illegally parked, and he thought it was his. So he asked me to look after his booth while he went out into the parking lot to check his car. And I had that uncontrollable urge, once I got behind that booth, to shout out, "Hey everybody, 75% off the sticker price on every album on this table." But I didn't. I held my tongue. Then I went to another booth where an individual was selling French artists' records. And as you know, from I collect Yeye girls, I'm looking for the stuff from the 60s, the Vogue and Phillips pressings, Sylvie Vartan and Francois Hardy, Ponce Gale, whatever. So I go up to him and say, you got French records? Do you have Sylvie Vartan? Yeah, Franz Harden. And he just started into this big French conversation. And I kept saying, stop. I don't understand what you're saying. Didn't matter. As soon as I mentioned those French artists, he was into this big French conversation. Unfortunately, he didn't have any of those albums that I wanted. Overall, though, it was a very good show. That show was held twice a year. It's held every February and every November. So the next show will be probably in just about less than 3 months. In the middle of February is the next show. I'll definitely be going back again. So, as always, thanks very much for watching, and have a great day.